Strength isn't just about muscle or physical resilience. It's about a deep, unyielding character that endures life's turbulence. Today, I want to explore 7 key signs that reveal the presence of profound inner strength in a person. These traits don't come from a place of arrogance or self-righteousness, but rather from years of trial, reflection, and growth. The first sign of strength is your ability to take responsibility for your life. A strong person doesn't waste energy blaming others or external circumstances. Instead, they look in the mirror and ask, what can I do to change this situation? This mindset is not easy. It requires courage to face the truth about oneself. The second sign is emotional regulation. Strength isn't the absence of emotion. It's the ability to channel it constructively. It's the capacity to remain calm in chaos, to endure frustration without lashing out, and to respond instead of react. A strong individual doesn't deny their feelings. They understand them and work through them. The third sign, you can stand alone when necessary. Being strong means you don't compromise your values to fit in or avoid discomfort. You're willing to face solitude if that's the price of staying true to yourself. It takes immense fortitude to walk a path others won't understand. Fourth, you can learn from failure. A strong person doesn't see failure as a definitive end. They see it as a beginning. Each mistake becomes a lesson, each setback a stepping stone. Strength lies in your ability to rebuild, to persevere, and to never let failure define you. Fifth, you embrace vulnerability. Paradoxically, strength is not about being invulnerable, it's about being open, about risking hurt for the sake of connection and growth. It's the willingness to say, this is who I am, flaws and all, and to stand by that despite the fear of judgment. The sixth sign of strength is your capacity to uplift others. A strong person doesn't hoard their resources or use their strength to dominate. Instead, they use it to inspire, to mentor, and to empower those around them. True strength is shared. It grows when it helps others rise. Finally, you keep moving forward even when it's hard. Life throws storms at all of us, but the strong person doesn't give up. They don't sink into despair. They take the next step, however small it may be. They may stumble, but they keep walking. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most defining aspects of inner strength. It's a decision to own every facet of your existence, the successes, the failures, and the choices in between. It requires confronting the uncomfortable truth that while circumstances may not always be within your control, how you respond to them absolutely is. This realization is both liberating and daunting. It means letting go of the comforting illusion that life's outcomes are solely dictated by external forces or the actions of others. Instead, it's about stepping into the driver's seat of your own journey and acknowledging that you play a central role in shaping your destiny. To take responsibility is to reject victimhood. It's easy to slip into the mindset that life happens to you, that your struggles are the fault of a cruel world, indifferent people, or bad luck. While external challenges are real and can be formidable, a strong person refuses to let them define their identity. They understand that pointing fingers and assigning blame might offer temporary relief, but ultimately keeps them stuck. Taking ownership means saying, this may not be my fault, but it's my responsibility to deal with it. That shift in mindset creates the space for growth and action, allowing you to reclaim your power in situations where it feels like you've lost control. This approach doesn't mean denying that life can be unfair. It acknowledges that you will face hardships beyond your influence, whether they're societal, environmental, or personal. However, strength lies in asking the critical question, what can I do with what I have right now? The strong individual recognizes that lamenting over what's outside their control is wasted energy, and instead they focus on the choices they can make. Even in the darkest moments, they seek out small ways to improve their situation, whether it's through learning, adapting, or simply enduring until the storm passes. Taking responsibility also demands brutal honesty. It means confronting your own role and your struggles, even when doing so feels painful or uncomfortable. Many people avoid this because it threatens their self-image. It's easier to rationalize mistakes or blame others than to look inward and ask, how did I contribute to this situation? A strong person embraces this discomfort because they understand that true accountability is the path to growth. They don't shy away from their flaws, but face them head on, determined to learn and improve. When you take responsibility for your life, you also develop resilience. This doesn't mean you'll never feel overwhelmed or defeated. It means you don't stay in that state. A strong person sees setbacks as opportunities to test their ability to overcome. They adopt the mindset that every failure, every rejection, and every obstacle is a stepping stone toward becoming better. This resilience grows from the knowledge that no matter how dire a situation may seem, they have the power to influence its outcome, even if only in small ways. Responsibility also fosters freedom. At first glance, this might seem contradictory. Shouldering the weight of your own life sounds like a burden, but in reality, it's the opposite. When you take responsibility, you free yourself from being at the mercy of others. You're no longer waiting for someone else to fix things for you, nor are you paralyzed by circumstances. Instead, you reclaim control over your choices, and by extension, your life. This autonomy is deeply empowering. It reminds you that regardless of what happens, you have the capacity to choose your next step. Furthermore, taking responsibility builds credibility, not just with others, but with yourself. When you own your actions, you signal to those around you that you are reliable and trustworthy. More importantly, you begin to trust yourself. Each time you take responsibility, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. This self-trust is the foundation of confidence and strength. It's what allows you to face challenges with the certainty that even if you don't have all the answers now, you have the ability to figure them out. Ultimately, taking responsibility is an act of courage. It requires you to confront the truth about yourself and your life without flinching. It means accepting that the path forward may be difficult, but that you have the strength to walk it. This mindset isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up, even when it's hard, and doing the work required to create the life you want. Through this process, you cultivate a deep and enduring strength, one that isn't dependent on external validation or circumstances, but rooted firmly in your own character. Emotional regulation is one of the clearest indicators of inner strength, as it demonstrates mastery over the self in a world that often pulls us in every direction. It is not about suppressing or denying emotions, but about understanding them, navigating them, and using them constructively. This ability separates those who are reactive and controlled by external stimuli from those who remain steady, thoughtful, and deliberate in their responses to life's challenges. Emotional regulation requires self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to personal growth, all of which contribute to an enduring sense of strength and a true self-awareness that serves as, at its core, emotional regulation begins with self-awarenesses. To regulate your emotions, you must first recognize them. This is not as simple as it sounds. Many people go through life reacting to situations without fully understanding what they're feeling or why. A strong individual, however, cultivates a deep understanding of their emotional landscape. They pause and reflect. What am I feeling right now? Is it anger, frustration, sadness, fear, or perhaps something more complex? They also dig deeper, asking, what is triggering this emotion? By doing so, they gain clarity about their inner world, which is the first step toward managing it effectively. Once you are aware of your emotions, the next step is to resist the urge to react impulsively. This is where discipline comes into play. It's easy to let emotions dictate your actions in the heat of the moment. Anger can drive you to say things you later regret. Fear can paralyze you into inaction. Frustration can cause you to give up prematurely. A strong person, however, learns to create a pause between feeling and action. They take a breath, step back, and assess the situation before responding. This deliberate approach prevents emotions from spiraling out of control and allows for more thoughtful, measured decisions. Emotional regulation also involves accepting and processing emotions, rather than avoiding or suppressing them. Many people view emotions like anger, sadness, or fear as weaknesses and try to bury them. But suppressing emotions doesn't make them go away. It only intensifies them over time, often leading to unhealthy outbursts or internal turmoil. A strong individual understands that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and they don't judge themselves for feeling a certain way, but instead explore those feelings with curiosity and compassion. They ask, what is this emotion trying to tell me? How can I address its root cause? By doing so, they process their emotions in a healthy way, ensuring they don't fester or overwhelm them later. Another aspect of emotional regulation is learning to channel emotions productively. Instead of letting anger drive destructive behavior, for instance, a strong person uses it as fuel for positive change. They might channel their frustration into solving a problem, advocating for a cause, or pushing themselves to achieve a goal. Similarly, they might use sadness as an opportunity for reflection or connection, or fear as a signal to prepare and grow. Fear is a signal to prepare and grow. By finding constructive outlets for their emotions, they transform what might otherwise be a liability into a source of strength and motivation. Importantly, emotional regulation also enhances relationships. When you can manage your emotions, you're less likely to lash out at others or project your feelings onto them. Instead, you communicate more effectively, listen more empathetically, and resolve conflicts with greater ease. This not only strengthens your bonds with others, but also creates an environment of mutual respect and understanding. A strong person recognizes that emotional regulation isn't just about their own well-being. It's about fostering healthy, supportive connections with those around them. Furthermore, emotional regulation builds resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Without the ability to manage emotions, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or defeated in the face of adversity. But a strong person remains steady, even in turbulent times. They acknowledge their feelings without letting them take over, allowing them to stay focused on solutions and forward momentum. This resilience grows stronger with each challenge they face, creating a foundation of confidence that no matter what life throws at them, they have the capacity to navigate it. Ultimately, emotional regulation is a skill that requires continuous practice and refinement. It's not about achieving a state of perpetual calm or indifference. It's about learning to navigate the full spectrum of human emotion with grace and intentionality. Strong individuals understand that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply signals, guiding them toward greater self-awareness and growth. By embracing this mindset, they cultivate a profound sense of inner strength that enables them to face life's challenges with clarity, courage, and purpose. The ability to stand alone when necessary is one of the most profound signs of inner strength. It requires a deep sense of self-awareness, conviction, and courage to remain steadfast in your beliefs and decisions, even when the crowd is moving in a different direction. This isn't about isolation or rejecting others. Rather, it's about developing the fortitude to stay true to yourself in situations where conformity might feel safer or more convenient. It is about knowing who you are and what you stand for, and being willing to endure discomfort, criticism, or loneliness for the sake of your integrity. To stand alone begins with knowing yourself. This requires reflection and honesty about your values, principles, and priorities. Many people go through life adapting to the expectations of others without ever truly examining what they believe in or what matters most to them. A strong person, however, takes the time to explore their inner world. They ask themselves difficult questions. What do I really believe in? What kind of life do I want to lead? What am I willing to stand up for, even if it costs me something? This clarity of self becomes a guiding compass, allowing them to navigate life with confidence and authenticity. When you know your values, you are less swayed by external pressures. Society often demands conformity, whether through cultural norms, peer influence, or social expectations. There's a powerful instinct to fit in, to seek approval, and to avoid standing out for fear of judgment or rejection. But a strong person understands that Following the crowd isn't always the right choice. They are willing to question popular opinions and challenge the status quo if it conflicts with their beliefs. This doesn't mean they are contrarian for the sake of it. It means they prioritize authenticity over acceptance. They would rather be true to themselves and stand alone than betray their principles for the comfort of belonging. Standing alone also requires the courage to face discomfort. It's not easy to go against the grain, especially when doing so invites criticism or ostracism. People may misunderstand or even ridicule you for your choices. In those moments, the temptation to compromise or retreat can be overwhelming. But a strong person recognizes that enduring this discomfort is a small price to pay for living a life aligned with their values. And so they have the resilience to withstand external opposition because they are grounded in their own sense of purpose. This strength to stand alone is not an act of defiance or arrogance. It is an act of self-respect. It's about valuing your own voice enough to let it guide you even when others don't agree. It's about acknowledging that your worth isn't determined by how many people approve of you, but by how faithfully you live according to your principles. A strong person doesn't need constant validation from others because they've cultivated an inner sense of security. They trust themselves, and that trust allows them to walk their own path with confidence. Standing alone also fosters growth and independence. When you rely solely on the approval or direction of others, you limit your ability to think critically and develop your own ideas. But when you take the bold step of standing on your own, you open yourself up to new perspectives and opportunities. You learn to solve problems independently, make decisions confidently, and face challenges with resilience. However, intellectual self-reliance becomes a source of strength, allowing you to navigate life's uncertainties with greater ease. Moreover, standing alone can inspire others. Strength is contagious. And when people see someone willing to uphold their values despite external pressures, it often gives them the courage to do the same. By standing firm, you become a beacon for others who may be struggling to find their own footing. Your example can encourage them to explore their own beliefs and embrace their authenticity, creating a ripple effect of strength and integrity. Finally, the ability to stand alone is a testament to your commitment to personal growth. It shows that you are willing to face uncertainty, endure criticism, and take risks for the sake of becoming the person you want to be. This process is not without its challenges, but it is also deeply rewarding. Each time you choose to stand alone, you reinforce your own sense of identity and build a reservoir of inner strength that will serve you throughout your life. It is a courageous act of self-ownership that allows you to live not according to the expectations of others, but in alignment with your own truth. The ability to learn from failure is one of the most critical traits of inner strength. It requires a mindset that views setbacks not as permanent defeats, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and how you respond to it defines your character far more than the failure itself. A strong person understands this truth deeply. They do not shy away from failure, nor do they allow it to consume them. Instead, they use it as a stepping stone to greater wisdom, resilience, and success, to resilience below any disease or security. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. But this perception is both limiting and unrealistic. Life is full of uncertainty, and no one can achieve anything meaningful without encountering setbacks along the way. A strong person embraces this reality. They do not view failure as an indictment of their worth or abilities, but as a natural part of the learning process. They understand that every failure carries within it a lesson, and their focus is on uncovering that lesson and applying it to their future efforts. One of the first steps in learning from failure is accepting responsibility for your role in it. This does not mean blaming yourself harshly or taking on guilt unnecessarily. It means honestly assessing what happened, acknowledging your mistakes, and reflecting on how you could have approached the situation differently. This kind of introspection takes courage because it requires confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself. But it is through this process that you gain the insights needed to grow. A strong person does not fear this self-examination. They welcome it as an essential part of becoming better." End quote. Equally important is the ability to reframe failure. Instead of seeing it as the end of the road, a strong person views failure as a temporary setback and a valuable teacher. This mindset shift allows them to approach challenges with greater optimism and resilience. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their potential, but a reflection of their current approach, and approaches can always be improved. This perspective transforms failure from something to fear into something to learn from, enabling them to bounce back more quickly and effectively. Resilience is a key component of learning from failure. It's not just about enduring failure, but about rising from it with renewed determination. Strong individuals don't allow failure to define them or erode their self-confidence. Instead, they use it as fuel to keep moving forward. They ask themselves, what can I do differently next time? How can I turn this situation into an advantage? This proactive approach keeps them focused on solutions rather than dwelling on setbacks, enabling them to maintain momentum even in the face of adversity. That's problem one. Adversity constrains the leader to expand their mindset. Another hallmark of strength in dealing with failure is the willingness to take risks again. Failure can be paralyzing if you let it make you fearful of future attempts. A strong person recognizes this and refuses to let past failures dictate their future actions. They understand that every new opportunity carries the possibility of failure, but it also carries the potential for success. They are willing to try again, not because they are reckless or naive, but because they believe in their ability to adapt, improve, and ultimately achieve their goals. Learning from failure also involves humility. It means recognizing that you don't have all the answers and that mistakes are a natural part of growth. Strong individuals are not afraid to seek guidance, admit when they are wrong, or ask for help when they need it. They see failure as an opportunity to expand their knowledge and skills, whether by consulting others, studying their mistakes, or approaching challenges from a different angle. This humility allows them to grow in ways that would not have been possible if they had remained stuck in their pride or fear of looking incompetent. Finally, a strong person sees failure as a necessary part of success. They understand that every accomplishment is built on a foundation of trial and error. They do not resent their failures, but appreciate them as crucial steps on their journey. This perspective gives them patience and perseverance, enabling them to pursue their goals with unwavering commitment, even when progress is slow or uncertain. And in this perspective gives them the grace and capacity to fail forward even when the little result seems less than ideal. They know that failure is not the opposite of success, but a vital component of it. A teacher that shapes them into someone capable of achieving their dreams. In the end, the ability to learn from failure is what turns setbacks into stepping stones and challenges into opportunities. It requires courage, resilience, humility, and a relentless commitment to growth. A strong person does not fear failure. They embrace it, knowing that each stumble brings them closer to becoming the best version of themselves. They understand that failure is not a dead end, but a doorway to transformation, and they walk through it with their head held high, ready to learn, adapt, and rise again. Embracing vulnerability is a profound act of strength. It challenges the deeply ingrained belief that strength is synonymous with invincibility or emotional impenetrability. Instead, vulnerability asks you to lower your defenses, acknowledge your fears, and present your authentic self to the world. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, not just in your triumphs, but also in your struggles, imperfections, and uncertainties. A strong person understands that true courage lies not in hiding their vulnerabilities, but in embracing them as an essential part of their humanity and growth. The first step to embracing vulnerability is recognizing that it is not a weakness. Society often teaches us to associate vulnerability with failure or inadequacy, urging us to mask our emotions and appear strong at all times. However, this perspective ignores a vital truth. Vulnerability is the foundation of connection, creativity, and authenticity. A strong person understands that opening up about their feelings, Admitting their struggles or asking for help requires far more courage than pretending everything is fine. They see vulnerability not as a liability, but as a doorway to deeper understanding and meaningful relationships. Embracing vulnerability requires self-acceptance. Many people avoid vulnerability because they fear judgment, both from others and themselves. They worry that showing their true selves will expose them to criticism or rejection. A strong person, however, learns to accept themselves fully, flaws and all. They recognize that no one is perfect and they don't strive to be. Instead, they focus on being genuine, understanding that authenticity is far more valuable than perfection. By accepting their vulnerabilities, they free themselves from the burden of trying to project an idealized image, and instead focus on living authentically. Another aspect of vulnerability is the willingness to take emotional risks. Whether it's sharing your feelings with someone, pursuing a dream that might fail, or acknowledging a mistake, vulnerability often involves stepping into uncertainty. This can feel deeply uncomfortable, as it requires exposing yourself to the possibility of disappointment, rejection, or failure. However, a strong person recognizes that these risks are essential for growth. They understand that vulnerability is what allows them to learn, evolve, and create meaningful connections. Without it, life becomes stagnant, devoid of the richness that comes from taking chances. Vulnerability also plays a crucial role in building relationships. True connection can only occur when people are willing to be open and honest with one another. When you hide your vulnerabilities, you create barriers that prevent others from truly knowing you. A strong person understands this and is willing to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences with others, even when it feels uncomfortable. They know that by being vulnerable, they give others permission to do the same, fostering trust and intimacy. This openness strengthens relationships and creates a foundation of mutual understanding and support. Embracing vulnerability also fosters resilience. It might seem counterintuitive, but allowing yourself to feel and express emotions actually makes you stronger in the face of adversity. When you suppress your feelings, they don't disappear. They build up, often leading to stress, anxiety, or even physical illness. A strong person allows themselves to experience their emotions fully, whether it's sadness, fear, or disappointment. They process these feelings rather than running from them, which enables them to move forward with clarity and strength. This emotional resilience allows them to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and confidence. Another powerful aspect of vulnerability is its ability to inspire and empower others. When you have the courage to show your authentic self, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. Your vulnerability becomes a source of strength not just for yourself, but for those around you. People are drawn to authenticity, and your willingness to be open can encourage others to confront their own fears and insecurities. In this way, vulnerability becomes a catalyst for collective growth and transformation. Finally, embracing vulnerability allows you to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. When you avoid vulnerability, you limit yourself to staying within the confines of what feels safe and familiar. But life's most rewarding experiences often come from stepping outside your comfort zone, even when it feels scary or uncertain. A strong person embraces this discomfort because they understand that vulnerability is what makes life rich and full. It's what allows them to pursue their passions, connect deeply with others, and experience the full range of human emotions. In the end, vulnerability is not about exposing yourself recklessly or without boundaries. It's about being honest, open, and real. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, not because you are fearless, but because you are brave enough to face your fears. A strong person doesn't shy away from vulnerability. They embrace it as a testament to their courage, authenticity, and humanity. Through vulnerability, they grow stronger, forge deeper connections, and live a life that is true to who they are. A strong person demonstrates strength by being adaptable and open to change. This quality reflects their ability to face the inherent unpredictability of life with resilience, flexibility, and curiosity. Change is one of the few constants in the human experience, and while it can be unsettling, it also holds the potential for growth and renewal. Celestial adaptability is not merely about surviving change, but thriving within it, embracing its challenges and opportunities with a mindset focused on learning, progress, and transformation. Adaptability begins with a willingness to let go of rigid expectations. Many people struggle with change because they become overly attached to a specific vision of how their life should unfold. When reality deviates from those expectations, they resist, often clinging to what feels familiar and safe. A strong person, however, understands that life rarely goes according to plan. They recognize that flexibility is essential for navigating the complexities of the world. Rather than resisting change, they approach it with an open mind, viewing it as an opportunity to pivot, learn, and discover new paths forward. This openness to change stems from a mindset rooted in growth rather than fear. When faced with unexpected circumstances, a strong person does not focus on what they are losing or what could go wrong. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? What new opportunities might this change present? This perspective allows them to approach change with curiosity and optimism, transforming what might otherwise feel like a threat into a chance for self-improvement and discovery. Adaptability also involves a deep sense of self-awareness. A strong person understands their strengths, weaknesses, and values, which allows them to remain grounded even in times of upheaval. This self-awareness acts as a compass, helping them navigate through change without losing sight of what matters most. It also enables them to evaluate situations objectively, identifying what adjustments need to be made while staying true to their core principles. By remaining anchored in their sense of self, they can face change with confidence and clarity. Resilience plays a key role in adaptability. Change often brings challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty, all of which can feel overwhelming. A strong person does not shy away from these difficulties. Instead, they confront them with determination and resourcefulness. They understand that setbacks are a natural part of the adaptation process and view them as temporary obstacles rather than insurmountable barriers. This resilience allows them to persevere through tough times, find creative solutions, and emerge stronger on the other side. Adaptability also requires a willingness to step out of one's comfort zone. Change often demands that you try new things, develop new skills, or adopt new ways of thinking. This can feel intimidating as it forces you to confront the unknown. However, a strong person embraces this discomfort as a necessary part of growth. They push themselves to take risks, experiment, and explore uncharted territory, knowing that these experiences will ultimately make them more capable and confident. Another crucial aspect of adaptability is the ability to let go of what no longer serves you. Whether it's a belief, a habit, or even a relationship, holding on to things that have become obsolete or harmful can hinder your ability to move forward. A strong person is not afraid to release these attachments when necessary. They recognize that growth often requires shedding old patterns to make room for new possibilities. This willingness to let go is not a sign of weakness, but of strength, as it demonstrates their commitment to progress and their trust in their ability to navigate whatever comes next. Adaptability also fosters creativity and innovation. When you are open to change, you become more willing to explore alternative approaches and solutions. A strong person views challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to think differently and develop new strategies. This creative mindset allows them to adapt to shifting circumstances with agility and ingenuity, often leading to breakthroughs they might not have discovered otherwise. Finally, being adaptable strengthens relationships. Life changes not only for individuals, but also for communities, families, and teams. A strong person recognizes the importance of adjusting to the evolving needs and dynamics of the people around them. They listen, collaborate, and compromise when necessary, ensuring that their relationships remain strong and supportive despite the challenges of change. This ability to adapt within the context of relationships creates an environment of mutual respect and trust, fostering deeper connections and shared growth. In essence, adaptability is a testament to a strong person's resilience, flexibility, and courage. It reflects their understanding that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace, a force that shapes them into more capable, resourceful, and well-rounded individuals. By remaining open to change and willing to evolve, they not only survive the uncertainties of life, but thrive within them, continually learning and growing along the way. Being compassionate yet assertive is a delicate balance that requires both emotional intelligence and a deep understanding of your own values. Compassion allows you to connect with others, understand their feelings, and respond to their needs with kindness and empathy. Assertiveness, on the other hand, ensures that your boundaries are respected, your voice is heard, and your own needs are not neglected. A strong person recognizes that these two qualities are not opposing forces, but complementary traits that, when combined, lead to healthier relationships and a greater sense of personal integrity. Compassion begins with empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand their perspective. A strong person values this skill because they know that everyone carries unseen struggles and that kindness can have a profound impact. They make a conscious effort to listen to others, validate their feelings, and offer support when needed. This compassionate approach fosters trust and connection, creating an environment where others feel safe to express themselves honestly. However, this compassion is not blind or self-sacrificing. It is grounded in self-respect and clarity about their own boundaries. Far too often, we hesitate to raise our voices when it comes to important issues. This is where assertiveness comes into play. While compassion focuses on understanding and supporting others, assertiveness ensures that you advocate for yourself effectively. A strong person understands that being compassionate does not mean tolerating disrespect, neglecting their own needs, or agreeing to things that go against their values. They are clear and direct about their boundaries, communicating them calmly and confidently. Assertiveness allows them to stand up for themselves while maintaining respect for others, striking a balance between self-care and empathy. Being both compassionate and assertive requires a clear understanding of one's values. A strong person knows what matters most to them and uses these principles to guide their interactions. When faced with a situation where compassion and assertiveness seem to conflict, they rely on their values to determine the best course of action. For example, they might empathize with someone's struggles while still holding them accountable for their actions. This ability to balance kindness with firmness is a sign of strength, as it reflects their commitment to fairness and authenticity. Maintaining this balance also requires emotional regulation. Compassion can sometimes lead to overextending yourself, while assertiveness can occasionally come across as overly rigid or confrontational. A strong person is aware of these tendencies and works to manage their emotions effectively. They practice mindfulness, self-reflection, and active listening to ensure that their actions are aligned with their intentions. This emotional awareness allows them to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, ensuring that their compassion and assertiveness are expressed in a way that promotes understanding and respect. Compassionate assertiveness also strengthens relationships. When you approach others with kindness while clearly communicating your needs and boundaries, you create an atmosphere of mutual respect. People feel valued and understood, but they also recognize and appreciate your authenticity. This balance prevents misunderstandings, reduces conflict, and fosters deeper connections. It allows for honest communication where both parties feel heard and supported, creating a foundation for lasting trust and collaboration. Ultimately, the ability to be both compassionate and assertive reflects a deep sense of inner strength. It demonstrates that you care for others without losing sight of your own worth, and that you are willing to navigate the complexities of human relationships with both kindness and courage. This balance is not always easy to achieve, but it is a hallmark of those who are emotionally intelligent, self-awareness, and committed to living authentically. By practicing compassionate assertiveness, a strong person creates harmony not only within themselves, but also in their interactions with the world around them. Having a clear sense of purpose is a defining trait of inner strength. Purpose acts as a guiding force, offering direction and motivation in life's journey. It provides clarity when the path ahead feels uncertain and instills resilience when challenges arise. A strong person understands the importance of living a purposeful life and dedicates themselves to uncovering and aligning with what truly matters to them. Their purpose becomes the anchor that grounds them and the fuel that drives their actions, decisions, and relationships. Purpose is deeply personal. It cannot be handed down by society, family, or peers. Instead, it emerges from within, an intersection of one's passions, values, and strengths. A strong person invests time and effort in self-reflection to uncover what brings them meaning and fulfillment. They ask themselves probing questions. What do I care about most deeply? What kind of impact do I want to have on the world? What activities make me feel most alive? Through this process of introspection, they begin to identify the threads that weave together their unique sense of purpose. Once a strong person discovers their purpose, they commit to living in alignment with it. This commitment requires discipline and intentionality. It means prioritizing the things that matter most and letting go of distractions that don't serve their higher goals. A sense of purpose simplifies decision-making because it provides a clear framework for evaluating choices. A prioritizing mental model helps couples to center themselves in a sense of clarity when negotiating. When faced with competing priorities or tough decisions, a strong person asks, "Does this align with my purpose? Will this bring me closer to the life I want to lead?" This clarity helps them stay focused and avoid wasting energy on pursuits that lack meaning. Purpose also provides resilience in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged when difficulties arise. However, a strong person draws strength from their sense of purpose. They see their struggles not as meaningless suffering, but as opportunities to grow and contribute to something larger than themselves. This perspective gives them the determination to persevere, even when the road is tough. Their purpose acts as a beacon, reminding them why they started and inspiring them to keep moving forward. Living with purpose doesn't mean life becomes free of setbacks or uncertainty, but it does make those moments easier to navigate. A strong person understands that their purpose is not a rigid endpoint, but a dynamic and evolving journey. They remain open to growth and change, knowing that their sense of purpose may shift as they gain new experiences and insights. This adaptability ensures that their purpose remains authentic and relevant, continually guiding them toward greater fulfillment. Purpose is not only about personal fulfillment, it also extends outward. A strong person recognizes that their purpose often intersects with the well-being of others. They seek to make a positive impact on their community, relationships, or the world at large. This outward focus gives their life a deeper sense of meaning, as they understand that their actions contribute to something greater than themselves. Whether through their work, creativity, or acts of kindness, they find ways to live out their purpose in service to others. Having a clear sense of purpose also enhances confidence. When you know what you stand for and what you want to achieve, you feel more secure in your identity. This self-assurance allows a strong person to navigate life with greater ease, unshaken by external pressures or the opinions of others. They are less likely to compare themselves to others or feel envious of different paths because they are deeply rooted in their own journey. Their purpose gives them a sense of direction that transcends societal expectations, allowing them to live authentically and unapologetically. Purpose also fosters joy and fulfillment. When your actions are aligned with your values and passions, life feels more meaningful and rewarding. A strong person experiences a deep sense of satisfaction from knowing they are working towards something that truly matters to them. This fulfillment doesn't just come from achieving their goals, but from the process itself, from the effort, growth, and impact they experience along the way. Living with purpose transforms even ordinary moments into opportunities for meaning and connection. A strong person also understands that purpose is not static. It's not about finding a single, unchanging mission, but about continually refining and evolving your understanding of what matters most. They remain curious and open, exploring new interests, building new skills, and deepening their relationships. This ongoing process ensures that their purpose remains vibrant and alive, growing alongside them as they navigate the complexities of life. In essence, purpose is the thread that weaves together all aspects of a strong person's life. It provides direction, motivation, and resilience, helping them navigate challenges and celebrate victories with a sense of meaning and intention. It is the compass that guides their journey, the fire that fuels their actions, and the foundation upon which they build a life of authenticity and fulfillment. By living with purpose, a strong person creates a life that is not only successful, but also deeply meaningful. Strength is not simply defined by outward displays of power, but by the depth of character, resilience, and authenticity you bring to your life. It is reflected in your ability to own your struggles, face your fears, and rise above adversity with purpose and integrity. A strong person knows when to stand firm and when to adapt, when to offer compassion and when to set boundaries, and when to embrace vulnerability as a pathway to deeper connection and self-discovery. Strength is about being grounded in who you are while remaining open to growth, navigating challenges with courage, and living with a clear sense of purpose that transcends the superficial. It's not about perfection or invincibility. It's about being human, authentically, unapologetically, and courageously so. In embracing these qualities, you don't just become stronger, you inspire strength in those around you. By leading with authenticity, compassion, and purpose, you create a ripple effect that empowers others to do the same. And in doing so, you not only transform yourself, but also contribute to a world that values depth, connection, and resilience. True strength lies in this balance, being fully yourself while lifting others to be their best selves as well.